Brenda encountered a problem when her card failed during a purchase of essential items. She switched to another card but felt disheartened by the situation. As she drove home to prepare for a family road trip to Houston after her husband's passing, Kelly, her daughter, shared a goodbye moment with her boyfriend, which was abruptly interrupted by the sound of Brenda's car horn. Kelly expressed her frustration at the interruption, and Brenda inquired about the whereabouts of their uncle, Reggie, whom they were expecting. Reggie arrived punctually after spending time with friends, although Brenda was skeptical due to his smell of smoke. Despite her suspicions, Reggie denied smoking, and after a warning against such behaviors for the trip, he promised to comply. Brenda then informed her son, Cam, engrossed in a game on his phone, to get ready, as they were leaving in 20 minutes. In the backyard, Kelly discovered her uncle smoking weed on his last day. Startled, she convinced him to try it, and after some hesitation, he agreed and shared it with her. Then, it turned out as Brenda wandered through the house, reflecting on past memories with her family, including her late husband. A call from her mother in Houston marked the final preparations for their journey, with Brenda insisting on a family prayer before setting off. Later, two men awaited a helicopter in an undisclosed location, receiving a bag of cash from a man descending from the helicopter on behalf of their boss, Mr. Cross. A disagreement arose between them regarding the distribution of the cash, with one feeling it unjust to risk his life for Mr. Cross's sole benefit, while the other suggested addressing the issue directly with Mr. Cross. As the family traveled, they engaged in lively conversations, both arguing and laughing along the way. However, they hit a road construction site, compelling them to take an 85-mile detour. After a few hours, they made a stop at a gas station. Brenda entered the store for a transaction, where the store owner's odd behavior and strange inquiries prompted her to swiftly exit with Kelly. Outside, two local men made unwanted advances towards Kelly, which she countered by defiantly gesturing at them before walking away, leaving them irritated. Resuming their journey, Brenda soon noticed a truck tailing them in her rearview mirror. The truck, seemingly occupied by the same two men, attempted to overtake them before speeding off ahead. Shortly after, Brenda had to brake suddenly when she saw the men positioned in the middle of the road, waiting for them. Attempting to maneuver around them proved futile as they blocked her path. Brenda exited the vehicle to address the situation, but the men disregarded her attempts at communication, instead demanding an apology.
Your white lives.
After the men finally backed off and drove away, Kelly discovered a route, and Cam reserved the most affordable motel as they resumed their journey. They stopped at a motel for a meal and to rest before continuing the next day. Due to the recent encounter with the men, Cam became anxious and posed some heartfelt questions to Brenda, including whether they would find a new home. Brenda comforted him with a hug and reassuring words. Later, in their motel room, an argument erupted between Kelly and her brother, which Brenda mediated. Reg entered the room from the washroom, alerting them to the bathroom's poor condition, leading to a playful pillow fight among the family members. A loud knock on the door interrupted their fun, reminding them to keep the noise down. Moments later, they heard commotion from the neighboring room, suggesting a possible altercation. Brenda made the decision to investigate. They witnessed the killer's shadow moving through the yard, prompting Brenda and Reggie to investigate. Tragically, they discovered a fatally shot victim whose neck had been injured. Reggie stumbled upon a bag of cash while fetching towels, linking the incident to the theft committed by the man who shot his colleague and took Mr. Cross's money. Despite Brenda's efforts to save the victim, he succumbed within moments, leaving her overcome with grief. The next morning, the police arrived at the place. Captain Hammers, a senior officer, suspected a connection to Mr. Cross, but his colleague revealed that no money was found. Removing a bullet stuck in a mirror, the officer suggested speaking with the family who witnessed the crime, only to learn that they had been sent away after providing statements, much to the captain's displeasure. Insistent on speaking with Brenda, Captain Hammers called her, requesting her return to the motel for questioning, but Brenda declined, sensing impending trouble. Shortly after, a stranger phoned Brenda, demanding the return of the money she allegedly took. Confused by the accusation, Brenda hung up, sensing trouble ahead. Suspicions arose that Reggie might have taken the money from the motel room the previous night. During a meal stop at a farm, the stranger called again, and Reggie advised Brenda against answering. exhibiting suspicious behavior. Brenda pressed him to divulge the secret he was concealing. Reggie then revealed the bag of money, believing it would change their lives, unaware of the danger it posed to the family. Realizing that the caller knew about the money and their location, Brenda instructed Reggie to return the funds. After another call from the stranger, Brenda agreed to return the money, hiding it in a motel room. However, a cleaner caught sight of her as she stashed the money in a wardrobe, prompting Brenda to photograph the location and share it with the caller.
The bag is in room 33 at the Center Star Inn.
Indeed, the keys were under the doormat, but feeling unwell and nauseous, she hurried to the bathroom. Once she felt better, she rejoined her family and they departed. The family then visited a recreational center resembling an old town. At the center, Kelly and Cam enjoyed themselves, exploring the surroundings. Brenda and Reggie strolled and conversed, during which Reggie expressed frustration over Brenda's decision to return the money. He believed the money could have resolved their financial woes, given their debts. Reggie's fervent complaints led Brenda to slap him, but they set aside their differences, affirming their familial love. Later, the family entered an aged church. While there, Cam excused himself to use the restroom located a short distance away. To their surprise, the restroom led to an area where a crowd had gathered to watch a cowboy show. Brenda, Reggie, and Kelly joined the spectators. During the show, Brenda received another call from the stranger, this time warning her about her son's kidnapping. In a rush, Brenda urged Reggie to find Cam so they could leave, but it was too late. Reggie hurried to the restroom, searching frantically for Cam, to no avail. A stranger discovered Cam's cell phone on the floor and handed it to Reggie. Meanwhile, Brenda, with Kelly, dashed back to their vehicle. Soon after, she received a call from Mr. Cross. He demanded his money in exchange for her son. Without hesitation, Brenda raced back to the motel. Upon reaching the motel, Brenda realized the bag was missing. Fortunately, she caught sight of the cleaner making off with the bag. Despite her attempts to stop the cleaner, the latter swiftly drove away. Brenda engaged in a tense pursuit. The chase led them to a desolate area where Brenda managed to collide with the cleaner, causing her vehicle to overturn. Brenda retrieved the bag, but found herself surrounded by a gang of thugs before she could make her escape.
I'm leaving.
At the location, Captain Hammers encountered Kelly and Reggie at the bar as they awaited Brenda. He attempted to extract Brenda's whereabouts by posing a series of questions. Despite their reluctance to divulge any valuable information, Captain Hammers cautioned them about the severe consequences they would face if Mr. Cross did not recover his money. The family's lives hung in the balance, with the threat of death looming if Brenda failed to return the money. With this warning, Captain Hammers left the bar. As he made his way to his vehicle, Kelly hurried after him, seeking assistance as her brother had been abducted by Mr. Cross. Meanwhile, Brenda woke up to find herself bound at the hands and feet, surrounded by thugs, reveling in loud music and dancing. She attempted to free herself using a shard of glass, only to be intercepted by one of the men. Subsequently, Captain Hammers set out with Kelly and Reggie in his vehicle, en route to his ranch for their safety. Noticing an SUV trailing them, he pulled over to the side, instructing Kelly and Reggie to lower themselves out of sight. The SUV passed without incident. Among the thugs, Brenda was brought before their leader, who attempted a sexual assault. Swiftly, she headbutted him, breaking his nose. Despite the other thugs attacking, Brenda triumphed over them all. She then armed herself with a gun for protection, asserting that the money was Mr. Cross's. Hearing this, the others relinquished their portions of the money, and Brenda departed with the bag. While this unfolded, Captain Hammers reached his home with Kelly and Reggie. After introducing them to his wife, he requested their assistance in opening his trunk, to their amazement. He aimed his gun at Kelly and Reggie, while his wife brandished a shotgun. Revealing himself as Mr. Cross, he held the entire family hostage, demanding his money. Brenda returned to the restaurant with the cash to rendezvous with Kelly and Reggie, only to find them missing. Unable to reach Kelly, as Mr. Cross had taken her phone, Brenda learned the shocking truth that Mr. Cross was the assailant back at the motel. Investigating his own murder case, Mr. Cross discovered the strange caller was himself, a perplexing revelation. Mr. Cross answered the call, sending Brenda his address, a photo of Reggie, Kelly, and the boy, urging her to hurry or he would harm them. The family was trapped in the basement, attempting to escape. Kelly was bitten by a dog while trying to open a window. Brenda's car broke down after swerving to avoid hitting an animal and landing in a ditch. With the engine failing, she continued on foot towards Mr. Cross's location. In the basement, Mr. Cross aimed his gun at Reggie, distracted by the dog, until Cam doused him with bleach. Seizing the opportunity, they struggled to flee upstairs, encountering resistance from an elderly woman. Armed with a bone-cutting knife, she clashed with Kelly, but Cam intervened with a gun, subduing her. This secured both her and Mr. Cross in the basement, seizing their phones. Cam tended to his uncle's wound before they fled to meet Brenda outside. Informing Brenda about Mr. Cross's true identity as Captain Hammers, she entrusted Reggie with the bag, directing him to leave it at his front yard. Mr. Cross and his wife forcibly exited, armed, seeking Brenda and her family, who had fled, but not too far. Retrieving the money, Mr. Cross pursued the family with his wife following in their vehicle. Meanwhile, Brenda and her family worked to repair their vehicle for a final escape. After managing to start the engine, they cheered, attracting the attention of Mr. Cross and his wife. In response, Brenda fired shots that hit her headlight and windshield, forcing them to halt. Shortly after, Mr. Cross caught up, and a gunfight ensued. During the exchange, Brenda's gun slipped through the trunk. Losing control, Brenda tumbled out through the trunk, prompting Reggie to stop the vehicle suddenly. Facing Mr. Cross and his wife, guns drawn, Brenda was targeted but miraculously missed. They then tried to run her over, but Brenda swiftly tossed a flare into her vehicle. In the chaos, the elderly lady accidentally shot herself, causing the vehicle to crash into a tree, ejecting Mr. Cross through the shattered windshield. The ensuing explosion engulfed the vehicle. The family proceeded to Houston. Arriving at a restaurant in Houston, concerns arose about paying the bill, yet Reggie reassured them. He produced cash he had taken when leaving the bag in Mr. Cross's yard. They savored their meal in tranquility. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.